Hello again, Rebecca here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are working again with all the Stash Made kit that I had put together. Here are some of the things that I had pulled from that kit, along with the picture, just so you know I work better if I don't have such a wide selection to choose from. So I'm going to go ahead and use these figures as well, and some scrap pieces of paper. Now this is from that paper pad, and I decided that because this was a old-timey picture of my grandma and grandpa from, decades ago, that this would work out well, because I cannot seem to think of any other layout that I would use this on without actually doing what I did the first time I used this piece of paper, was cutting the houses up. So I'm going to go ahead and get my photo here trimmed down, which seems to be just a copy of a photo. I don't really know how they got it over the years. And I'm just trying to make sure that I have it square, because this is something that we cannot get another copy of. Now I am okay with scrapping the photos like that. I tend to not save photos that have no meaning or duplicates, because then they just sit in a box and take up room. I know people do that. I do not. Once I scrap it, if it's pictures that can be scrapped again, that's fine. For the same event, I do every once in a while go through at least once every other year. I go through all my scrapbooks and try to chronological lies them, I guess. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that yellow paper that was a scrap there just as a background. And after I looked at it and got everything kind of adhered, I was like, I should have used some kind of distress ink to ink the edges, but that's okay. I settled for an ink pen and lines. Though I do like this yellow piece as well, and I'm going to use that just as like a top and bottom border. And I'm going to go ahead and get it nicely lined up, and I liked one side was a little bit more distressed than the other. And I'm just going to trim that off as well. And that was when I realized that this right here is when I'm like, I just don't really want to rip that apart. So I go ahead and flip the layout over and use the backing. And I'm looking for a pen. These are my favorite pens. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw some rough lines. And the reason that I flip my paper over is because I do tend to run off the page a lot. This keeps it from marking on my page or my mat or anything that's there. And this just kind of helps define that second yellow piece, which is kind of the same as inking the edges of things would do. But I had already adhered it, and I really don't want to rip it apart. I do that so much. So as you can tell, this is pretty much in real time. This layout came together in no time, mostly because the background was so busy that, hey, didn't really have to do anything but add some fun little elements that match in color. There's a very angry bird out here. I am voicing over while I'm letting my dogs potty this morning. And I'm just going to put that right there on an angle in between those two houses. And I'm going to put congrats on there. That is going to serve as my title. I'm sure they were doing something fancy because they're all fancy dressed up. I'm going to get that laid down. But like I said, this is real time pretty much for me. I did not speed this up at all. Hence why I'm moving so slow. If you would like to join me on Wednesdays in creating a, little stash layout where you don't really just grab a whole bunch of random things. I've just been grabbing page kits that I have put together in the past. And since I started all these series on my channel here, I get a lot of stuff used up and roll through a lot of different things I still have a ton to go through, so don't you worry about that. I'm worried about that because I'm going to get new stuff, and we're heading into October soon, which will mean I will switch into October daily gear. And that is going to be super fun. I have to yet still decide what size album I'm going to make, but it's all right. So I do get that nice on the page, and the only thing I have left is that welcome, which I'm going to go ahead and cut all that other packaging off and send that to the recycling bin. When I got this project pack or this paper pack, I was really thinking that this piece of paper right here would probably be one of those ones that I never used, and I've used both of them, so I'm pretty excited about myself getting those used. I'm going to go ahead and grab some doilies, and I'm going to stick it right, see, I tear stuff up all the time. I'm going to get it stuck right there, just because I feel like doilies are something that you put on a grandma layout, right? And now I'm just going to roll through. I do have this tag right here, and then I have other tags, so I'm going to go ahead and pop up this. I don't think I have other tags. I can't remember if this is, because I do 2 videos for Wednesdays, so I can't remember if this is the layout that I do all the tags on that I had fussy cut out from this paper pad a while ago, and they weren't even in this collection that I had put together this month, and I seen them when I turned my chair around and I grabbed them. So like I said, can't remember if this is the one I do it on or if it's the next one that I do it on. We'll find out shortly. I just used the cheapo foam, get that stuck on there. I'm reaching up into my product focus bin and grabbing some pale pink or yellow, some yellow and white baker's twine, and I'm going to like loop this all into that little hole so that we do not have a naked tag hole. Oh, maybe that is pink. It is pink because the label's pink. Yellow would have worked too, though. I'm going to get that pleasing to my eye, clip off the excess, toss those, and then we're going to get this adhered to the page. And I am just going to pretty much cover up that entire doily. It peeks out a little bit at the top there, right? Layers. So now I'm seeing what else I have in the kit. I do like this is going to serve as my title for the page, and it says always and forever. And I'm going to pop that up on some foam as well. And I'm just going to have to trim that down just a tad more, but that's okay because I use all of these pieces eventually. And we're going to get the adhesive onto it, and we're going to stick it right up there at the top next to the saying. Kind of nestle it right there to where the peak is next to the house. I'm going to go ahead and use this purse. It reminds me of an old-fashioned, and I tend to use a lot of that on this layout because it reminds me of the things that she would have carried back in this time, which would have been possibly the 40s or 50s. This little pink saying right here is something by Coco Chanel. I just adhere it right onto that little picture. This is a tan and pink little label spot, and I'm going to tuck it right under there. This little coin purse. She carried coin purses, and I'm going to stick it right so you can't really see that bottom hole. And I'm still going through all the pieces that I pulled out. We are almost done with this layout. This is a chipboard on foam. I'm going to use that as well. We're almost, like I said, we're almost done with this layout. If you want to give me a thumbs up, please do click that subscribe button below. And I try to post a video a day. Sometimes it does not always work out for me, but that's okay. Today is Wednesday, and I will end up doing 2 videos. I'm just getting a couple more things from the stash that I have put out, popping them up on some of that additional foam that I have. Trying to use what I can, because this is all items that have been in my stash for quite some time, hence the whole stash idea that I've been doing on Wednesdays. I'm going to go ahead and layer that right there. You can still see the saying on it, which is live, laugh, love, I believe, something to that effect. And I'm going to put that away, and like I said, I believe that's going to be it for the layout. I might come in, I'm thinking as I'm rubbing on the layout, trying to see if there's anything else, and that's it. So